Welcome friends to my YouTube page under Jen Post Blue Star Channelings. Today I am going to talk about quite a few things. I'm going to go back and talk a little bit about Mercury retrograde that we just went direct in, and also the energies that are influencing us right now. Plus, I'm going to talk about the messages from Spirit that I have been getting, especially from Ascended Master Priest, Cosmic Priest Melchedek. And I'm going to also go into the coronavirus, talk a little bit about that, and also the messages that I've been receiving from the Arcturians. So let me just do a quick little recap on Mercury retrograde that went direct a couple of days ago. I think it was Monday or Tuesday. And during the time of Mercury retrograde, a lot of things are stirred up. If there are things that we've swept under the carpet or aren't resolved within our personal or our personal relationships, or inside of us, insecurities or fears, they usually come up to the surface and kind of smack you in the head and revisit you. So that can be a challenging time, of course, especially with everything that is going on globally right now with the virus. But it is a time to take a step back and reflect too, because the energies do feel like they are slowing down. So you can use this time for the future Mercury retrogrades that are coming up to take a step back and reflect. Call upon Archangel Jeremiah during this time, because he's a great angel to work with in regards to bringing clarity to situations, bringing resolve. He governs the Scorpio sign, so he's all about life review. So this kind of happens when you are thrown into Mercury retrograde, because it does bring up things in the past for you to review. So definitely work with him in the future. With the super moon, we went into the energies of Virgo, which was a nice little grounding energy, which was needed for also what was, what we went through with Mercury retrograde, and really what is happening globally, bringing up a lot of fear and security, separation, just in that energy of fear. So we moved into Scorpio energy today, and Scorpio energy is all about death and rebirth, transformation. That is a sign. It's a fixed sign. It's a water sign. It brings up emotions, so you can be feeling a little emotional today. You can be feeling like you're wanting to go deeper into maybe some aspects within yourself that need to be looked at, reflected upon. You can be on the challenging aspect of Scorpio, which is jealousy, it's obsession, it's stubbornness, all of the character traits that Scorpio holds, but they're very deep thinkers. It's a water sign, like I said, so you feel very intense when that energy is around. We also had yesterday, today is Friday the 13th, so yesterday, March 12th, the Schumann resonance, which resonates, it records the energies coming into the earth, the electromagnetic field, and those, wow, yesterday was a high spike day. So for myself, I had complete exhaustion, did not feel well. It can affect you in so many ways, as your digestion, feeling nauseous, dizzy, just belly disruptions as well, sleep disruptions, anxiety. So you can feel that surge of energy coming in, and your body, resonating to that higher frequency. So Today there were a couple of peaks, but it definitely simmered down, and you can feel there was a lot of fear energy yesterday coming in. So, you know, you couple with that whole energy of the fear consciousness with the Schumann resonance, it's going to amplify it so people can really, really get into that survival mode. And that fear mode, even having, you know, the root, the base chakra, the back and the hips, the energies are really starting to pull us down, and you can feel that in the lower chakras too, okay, as we're bridging these frequencies. So you might be experiencing a little bit more pain, as I am, in the physical body, especially in the hip and the buttock, any of the hip, the buttocks, the low back, you know, area as well. So with the Schumann resonance, you know, like I said, that can have increased sensitivity to everything, and just heightened with all of this anxiety that is going on with the coronavirus. It just amplifies that. So definitely more of the need to obviously go out and ground. Mercury retrograde, it governs health and virus. So we just came out of Mercury retrograde, and we had this influx of the coronavirus. So, you know, they're kind of going hand in hand here. It governs food, you know, so all of those things, the planets and their energies are all factoring into all of this. So I was receiving right around, I think it was the day of the day after the supermoon, the Arcturian energy came in very, very strong and downloaded me with information to share to all of you guys, along with Melchedek. I channel the Ascended Master realms, the higher frequency light beings, the Palladians, the Arcturians, you know, the Orions, energies from Andromeda, you know, all of those energies I connect to and bring down this information. They will download it and telepathically stream it into me. They will visit me, and I will have an interface meeting with them. So I received what is called a clarion call many years ago. I actually didn't know what that was when that happened. I was like, what is this? What does it mean? But of course, you know how things go in the spiritual path, in the ascension path, that we eventually put the pieces together. They help us, Spirit helps us to put our pieces together so we can figure out exactly what is going on and just bring everything together so we can comprehend it. So when I received this, it was a call. It's basically a call to service. You know, I started becoming in contact with these light beings and the Ascended Masters and the angelic ones, and you know, it was a call for me to come into service, to be the ambassador, to speak on their behalf, as I'm here in the third dimension and they are not. Although there are star seeds I'm representing with my Palladian star seed shirt here today. But of course there's star seeds here. I am a star seed teacher, ascension teacher, and a galactic teacher. And a star seed light worker, you know, as many of us are. So they called me into service, and, you know, this is why I'm here talking with all of you here today. So Melchedek is an amazing, beautiful being of pure light. His visit with me was a couple of years ago in a church. Not in the physical, we were in another time and space, a dimension, and the most beautiful being. There's pictures of him online, and it kind of looks what I experienced, though he does not have the long beard, piercing blue eyes, radiating pure love, peace, and light, and all just white hair. Absolutely the most amazing being I've ever seen. And, you know, he took my hands and, you know, we were in church, but he held my hands and he brought me close and he breathed into my mouth and did it twice. Maybe that's representing balance and harmony, right? The number 2 in numerology, I kind of figured that's what it was. But of course, you know, I didn't know at the time who he was, but obviously I experienced something quite magical and important. And then years later, you know, it all started coming together that that's who it was. He represents, he's a cosmic priest, holds the Christ consciousness energy. So if you're seeing the number 333, that is the Christ consciousness number and activation code. And he really helps to anchor in peace. And so I had to go through my own process of fears and really coming to peace within myself, peace to speak out on the behalf of all of these light beings, and also help people move through their ascension process, because they're going to go through the many layers and levels of fear through as they work on themselves. And so I assist people with going through this process with peace. And that's really was, you know, the importance of, I guess, him also coming to me, so I can do that for people here going through the ascension process. He's known as the King of Priests, the King of righteousness and justice, the balancing scales with that, and just eternal peace. Some say that he's, you know, a part of Christ, which we all are, but also holds that, like I was mentioning, the Christ consciousness energy, but also Archangel Michael. So you could feel that and tap into that energy when he is present as well. But I know him to be a cosmic teacher of esoteric knowledge. And he's, I wrote this down because he wanted me to tell people it's like we are his initiates. So like he initiated me like one of Jesus's disciples, you know, so it's relevant, you know, and makes sense, you know, the two comparisons, you know, with the Christ and disciples. So I wrote that down, so he wanted me to share that. So I received this clarion call to help shift. It helped shift my reality, but it's also happening now to many of us, this call. You're being called to step up. You're being called to go out of your comfort zone. You are, I'm sure you're relating to this on many levels within your own space with what's going on in your world. You're being called to do things that you never thought that you would, you know, maybe changing a profession, going in a different direction, doing more of this spiritual work within yourself and assisting others. That's the clarion call. So I feel from what he was saying that even though I received it many years ago, there was another one that just took place here on Earth. So especially with this shift of 2019 going into 2020, it was all part of this new wave of awakening. It was another clarion call to service, to awakening, and all of that. He was also speaking to me about New World Order and spiritual laws, because there are spiritual laws within the universe. And, you know, we were all in this, the majority of us, in the third dimensional reality, and that's where these spiritual laws were aligned. But now we've had this clarion call and this massive shift with 2020. So now there has to be, as we are upgrading and Earth is upgrading, also these spiritual laws need to be upgraded so they are aligned, right? It makes sense. So these spiritual laws, and it's really anchoring in wisdom, peace, and love. all these wonderful aspects in this new world as we shift into this new reality, this 5D space for many of us. And there's going to be two aspects he was talking about, how this new world order and these spiritual laws are going to assist in what they're going to do. You're going to see political changes, which is crazy with the virus, because you are seeing it is affecting all of the governments and the bodies of governments in all over the world. So the structures are now being reevaluated, and how we conduct ourselves, and even the separation, he's saying, you know, with the governments, that now we're kind of being brought together within the governments because of what is happening globally. You know, so this is an interesting point, because, you know, if there's this need for this new world order and this change on a global scale, you know, everything has a highest good, highest purpose. Is this virus that's happening is bringing light to all of the governments here, right? So think about that. You know, that's how you make changes and see what is not working in the government, and the relations with the countries. So it's an interesting fact. It's food for thought. I know they're bringing it up so I can share this with you and help shift your reality around all of this, which of course also getting less in that fear mode to understand that we are going through this purification process, and in order to create this new world order of union and unity and oneness, which I'll talk about the Arcturians, there has to be something that's pretty drastic that's going to affect everybody, not just a certain country versus another country, because you still have separation. So we are all now united and connected through this virus. So that's just a really interesting point that they wanted me to bring up, and just a different perspective. So when you're seeing yourself shifting into that fear mode, think about this, okay? So of course, you know, the changes in the political and the government, like I said, the society and the balance of power, moving into the future of this new world order, and what really needs to be shifted from that third dimensional reality and way of being into the fifth. So here we have a virus that reunites all of us, and we're all human at the end of the day. There's no one at any level that is immune to this, and it really just goes to show that we are all one, and we're in this all together. So, and then of course, like I said, you know, we're having this evolutionary quantum expansion here on earth and within us, so we have to have these spiritual laws now align with the new frequency that's coming in. All right, so Melchizedek brings peace, he brings power. He's great to work with, also clearing up an unpleasant situation, which is really what is taking place right now. This is an unpleasant situation for many. Esoteric knowledge that I said, purification, all the things. He does work with people with psychic attacks too, spirit releasement, and also color therapy, healing with sound and color. And this is a great segue to move into the Arcturian energy, because they work with sound and color as well. They also wanted me to share too, Melchizedek, real quick. He's helping rearrange situations that reflect the higher levels and spiritual law energies. So bringing in this divine wisdom here as well. All right, so I'm going to go into the Arcturians. The Arcturians, and you can see why Melchizedek is part of this, and the Arcturian energy with everything that is going on. They are fifth dimensional energies who are basically our guardians and protectors here on earth. They are helping us with spiritual development and understanding. They work with us through our dreams. They work with us through sacred geometry, through sound, color therapy as well. They're shifting our realities and our time and space. They, like I said, they work with the geometric shapes, the crop circles, also the yin and yang symbol. That is a great, great way to have a symbol that activates us and reminds us of balance and unity, of dark and light. If you look at the symbol, right? So every time you look at it, you're being reminded, really, your consciousness is like, you know, remembering that you did come from a place of balance and are here in the third dimension and need to get back into that space of balance. They use our filters with communication. So a lot of people, they're known to be the archangels. So that is our filter to see them coming in, or if you see an angel, because then that is, you know, something that's comfortable. They use our filters to communicate. So if you believe in the archangels, as I do, but I don't see them with wings. Any of my encounters with them have been, I've just seen them as very tall beings, very tall, about 10 to 12 feet tall. So that's just something I've experienced. It doesn't really matter, you know, how you see them. You might see them with the wings. That doesn't mean that, you know, it's not legitimately them, or you're having those, you know, experiences. It doesn't matter. They're still holding that frequency and coming to you through your filter. Okay, so meditation, channeling. I usually have many of my experiences through meditation, channeling, and when I sleep. So obviously those are the three major, you know, when I'm not like doing busy, you know, regular stuff, and my mind and my body is in a place to receive the information. So it is said that, so they work with us. We go through the Arcturian energy when we come through, the soul comes into the body, and when we exit. It is where we get a lot of healing. Their frequency is green, the vibration of green and healing. Some blue, some people see them as, or might feel, but, and that could be the Archangel Michael energy that's infused. But you have Archangel Raphael, who's all that green vibration. They were coming into me today when I was at an appointment in acupuncture, and it was all green, and I knew they were actually telling me something else that they want me to do with a Facebook Live peace meditation. So, but it is said that we go through that space when we come into the 3D physical body. And when we exit, so we get, you know, healed and recharged and recalibrated. They educate us on the key to living here is fifth dimensional love. They are balanced energies of the male and female frequency, and they have polarized thought. They're just thought consciousness. They're part of the group consciousness, and they're here to educate us, to protect us, to advise us, to help with spiritual enlightenment, especially with the military, not to use the technology for greed and for power. You know, that's against spiritual enlightenment, actually. It is said also that they can take our soul extensions up to their crystal ships to be regenerated. I did have that experience myself, and it was extremely life-altering and changing. So I had that experience, and, you know, things really started to shift in my reality and understanding of what is all happening here, what my role is. So they brought my soul extension up to recalibrate and realign my energies to continue this work here. They are assisting us, the light workers, who are entering the fourth and the fifth dimension. You know, so helping a lot of us light star workers, you know, make that adjustment here and be that bridge. They are teaching us about Earth and Earth love and taking care of the Earth. Their civilization is a protocol of what Earth is to become, where there is no war, there's no greed, there's no illness, all of this stuff. It's a protocol, so that's why they're also assisting us as well. They're here to teach us know our God self. And like I said, the ingredient for living is fifth dimensional love, and that's their frequency, is in the fifth dimension. So they're teaching us our karmic lessons. They're our karmic teachers to understand. This is a big one in my world, understanding and teaching people that there are different forms of consciousness and different levels of consciousness. So they're, like I said, they're pure thoughts. So they're coming to me so I can understand the different levels where people are on their path and the level of awareness. You know, I know some of this stuff is abstract for people, and, you know, not understanding or not even believing that these light beings are assisting us. But though there is a lot of evidence now starting to be shown, and that is by design. That's not just something that's just happening. Everything is strategic, because as you know, back in the day, you know, the 40s and the 50s, there were, you know, obviously that's really when they made like more contact for us to understand. But think about the level of consciousness where it was back in the 40s and the 50s and the 60s, where if anybody said that they had contact with any type of star race or extra, you know, terrestrial being, that they were basically put in an insane asylum and they didn't have the support. And my heart goes out to all of them, because I have had numerous experiences and I understand even the resistance that I have gotten, and how difficult it is, that I had to even process what was going on myself. And I was already at a place where obviously I can handle the information somewhat, you know, and had to integrate that. So, you know, it's a lot to integrate and to understand. So that really, really taught me the discernment. It taught me the different levels of consciousness that people are at. And there are going to be people who think we're absolutely crazy and they don't want no part of it, and they're going to be in fear and separation. But my clarion call that I had to go through brought me up to go through my layers, shifting my realities, integrating this information so I can now share it out to the world. And to those who will be watching this, it's all, you know, divine timing that you're supposed to be watching this. So with that, my friends, that is what I wanted to share with all of you in regards to all of these energies, what is happening with the coronavirus, who is working with us. Just try to go out into nature, nature. When you feel that you are getting into fear-based, call in your I am presence. That's your individual God spark within inside of you. Bring that in. Call in Archangel Michael and Melchedek and the Arcturians, and to help bring those balances out. They wanted me also to mention, you know, those energies are in the etheric realm, you know, so if you put a lot of fear and energy into bringing it in, it'll seep into your physical body. So, you know, keep your vibration high in love and light, surround yourself, and you will be okay. All right, so with that, my cosmic friends, my star friends, have a beautiful day and a wonderful weekend, and I will come back on soon enough when they tell me to, and there's more messages to share. All right, namaste. Bye.